It's Friday. Getting down is optional, regardless of what Rebecca Black tells you, and you are back with me for some Grand Prix World. I have had a hell of a morning, guys. I will be honest with you. Um, it's taken 3 attempts to record the latest ZCOM video. My Gal Civ video went completely nuts and overran by, well, it's double the length I planned. And yeah, it's just been completely crazy. I was at the doctor's this morning, and he was his usual charming self. It's good to get back to normality with a bit of Grand Prix World for you. Last time out, we ran the race at Monaco and got ourselves a podium thanks to the surprisingly smooth skills of one Mr. Pedro Diniz. In the post-race comments, I was really pleased to see you guys still interested, still commenting. Legend of Rhino, you are very welcome, mate. Absolute pleasure doing these videos for you, and I'm glad you're enjoying them, and thanks very much for sticking around and watching. I think it was Mr. Casino actually made a really excellent comment that Diniz reminds him somewhat of Kiki Rosberg in the sense that he's very much a safe pair of hands. That was brilliant. That was a brilliant analogy that never occurred to me, but I can't think of many better comparisons actually. So, yeah, you make an excellent point, and that's going to feed very nicely into possibly the next episode, which we're going to begin looking at driver options. Now, I know we still have a season to run after this one on both contracts. However, it's good if you feel there's going to be a driver change to begin scouting the terrain early. First of all, let's take a look at the Constructors' Championship. We still have fourth place in our tentative grip. Jordan are behind us by 6 points, although they are outperforming us, which is bad news. We need to retain fourth or grab third, and that's becoming an increasingly remote possibility. In the Drivers' Championship, Diniz is joint sixth with Jean Alesi on 8 points. Nakano is a point behind, which is surprising, really. I don't know if we have been overly critical of Nakano or the results haven't been fair to Diniz, but I think Diniz deserves to be more than 1 point ahead of Nakano at this stage in the season. It's a good time, actually, I suppose, in anticipation of the next episode, to take a look at some key performers. Heinz-Harald Frentzen is having a hell of a season. His drive last time out, following a bad qualifying, was nothing short of exceptional, actually. Hill also is having a very, very good season. He's only 3 points behind 7 rounds in. Excuse me, need to sneeze. Double sneeze there. Nice. Johnny Newhouse sits in third, which is surprising to me because he hasn't stood out as much of a competitor this year. He doesn't seem to be synergising with McLaren very well either. Now, interestingly, Ricardo Rossit, pay driver of course, he's having a breakout season. Actually, he's having a very, very strong season in the Stewart, and the points perhaps haven't fairly reflected that. Wurtz has started to come on song in the second half of the year, and Mika Salo has managed to pick up a point for Minardi, which is excellent news for them. Sauber, of course, yet to score, as are Tyrrell. Now, the Tyrrell drivers aren't going to be particularly interesting for us. Magnussen is not really doing the business at the moment. Looking at drivers who could be ripe for poaching, Eddie Irvine at Williams. Williams have had a very, very difficult season, and 0 points for him by round 7. He's not going to be particularly happy. I don't know if he's on a 2-year deal or not, but he's someone to keep an eye on. Fisichella, of course. He's a young and upcoming driver at this stage, and obviously we know he went on to become a very high caliber driver indeed, that perhaps didn't get the career moves that he deserved. Some of you might be eyeing Michael Schumacher, but he has a salary in the region of 25 million, which is just not something that we are able to look at realistically. Equally, Hakkinen is probably going to be out of our price range. I'm at the moment, my eye is drawn particularly to Wurtz, Fisichella, and surprisingly Rosset, given his recent performance. Alesi could be an excellent choice if we're looking for a little bit of extra experience. Frentzen I've always rated quite highly as well. And obviously he's in line for the championships this season, which could prevent him signing for us actually. But we will go full in depth on the driver front probably next episode. But it's just good to have a cursory look at this stage. Let's see what's what after the last round. Ferrari have signed a team sponsorship deal with Winfried. Rubens Barrichello won that race, of course. Pedro Diniz got third. Nothing particularly interesting there. Nakano is not happy with his car. Well, that's interesting because we're not happy with him. Luca Badoa signed a contract with McLaren. I don't know if that's for a race seat or not. It does not specify. Asprey have signed with Benetton, and Williams have signed Komatsu as sponsors. Jackie Stewart is the worst manager by vote, which is surprising because their qualifying was excellent. By round 7, McLaren have already completed their sponsor package. That's insane. They could be in a very good position next season. Luca Di Montezemolo is the winner of the F1 Manager Award for this round. And there's been some more corporate espionage, which we may or may not have anything to do with. So, design office will be of particular interest. Our car for next season is not coming along well. It's just not. Meanwhile, our B-spec chassis is also at least one round out, possibly more, given we might not have the ability to build it as early as we might like. On the technology front, we're not doing anything, and on the driver aids, we are also silent. We should have a new specification of Ferrari engine. Yes, there it is, with a little bit of extra fuel economy. Not necessarily a benefit for us in Canada, but it's good to have long term. We've still not made the decision to pull the trigger on upgrading our factory at a cost of 6 million. What was our profit last round? 448,000. That's still not high enough to cover the cost at this stage of upping that. Diniz is still unhappy despite his podium. I'm concerned about our ability to retain him actually. Yeah, there's a lot of open questions for the team at this point. We still don't have that guarantee from Red Bull, though we're close. And surprisingly, our podium at Monaco has done no favours in wooing Peugeot, although they are still sending representatives to talk to us. PIAA and HSBC have had no progress either, nor are we any closer to our partner deal with Bridgestone. Sad, sad times indeed. This, of course, makes an even stronger case for upgrading the factory. Although we already have more money coming in next season than we do this season, so it's not all doom and gloom. We've got 10 rounds to find an engine and fuel suppliers should we fail to sign any more cash sponsors. So I suppose we better get down to business, huh? I said I wanted to upgrade our technology. How damaged are the cars after that round? It's not the end of the world. We need four spare parts. So we'll build those first. Of course we won't use them straight away. And then if we've got enough left over, we will deploy that technology upgrade just because it's been sat there doing nothing. I've got a feeling we won't be able to actually, but let's see. %. We need just 1 more percent. I'm going to use that chance then to build another spare part, and we will instead deploy that technology upgrade next round possibly, although that will interfere with the B spec. Difficult. I really want to finish this so we can put everything into next year's car, and I know I promised that we'd do a C spec, but it's not going to happen, would be my assumption at this point, because we really need all our designers focused 110% on making sure next year's car is not rubbish, so we can take advantage of any advantages we are able to secure for ourselves at this stage. Let's see what the testing situation looks like. 500,000 near us makes no difference to run some more testing. At full distance, it's quite a big investment, but I kinda want to really work on maxing that engine out if possible. I'm going to take Deniz off tyre testing. We'll run very, very minimal tyre testing there, and we'll just gradually up our points. The Forschung we really need to work on as well, because that's what's going to help us develop the make up the ground we lost on 2001 chassis. Let's run that testing. All the cars are completely fucked now. Okay, onto the engine spec. We're going to improve it by 2 points, and I'm going to add to rigidity because we're putting a lot of power through that at the moment. And I'm going to, what's the next round? Canada, and then we've got Germany and UK coming up. I'm going to put one into power, and then we'll work on reliability and responsiveness with the next specification. So there we go, we've got a Spec 7 engine, or an Evolution 7 I believe they would call it, engine ordered for the next round. That's good news. Let's sort the wear problems out. Who's in what car? Car 4 and car 1. So car 4 we'll work on first because that's Deniz. And there's Nakano's car, and I'm not using that spare part because we need it. Sorry, Carl. Sponsors, we're going to keep everyone that we've invited thus far and hopefully make some progress there. Active suspension level 1 from Ferrari, we're going to complain about that because we already have a level 1 active suspension, so maybe we catch them out. And instead we're going to begin looking at Benetton. What driver aids have we got? We have level 2 servo brakes, so really we want to be looking at active suspension and traction control primarily. We will look for traction control on the Benetton. And we will do a race review on Jordan because they are easily our closest competitor now. We're going to keep that as it is on the driver aggressiveness. Now, what to do here? I think we'll set Deniz up with extra points, and we're going to start favouring Deniz is what's going to happen. And he needs to go back on the soft compound. I'm going to keep Nakano on the harder compound because he seemed to manage okay. And it's good to split strategy like that. You never know when there's a gain to be made, especially when you're not watching the races live. But Deniz, from now on, we're going to treat him like driver 1 because he's the most consistent. He's the one that's, although Nakano has delivered the best one-off result, obviously Deniz is the one that brings in the points reliably, and over a season that's really what you need. So let's punch it. So 22 degrees and cloudy with a very strong wind. I think that's everything as we need it. Wow, that was a shocking qualifying session for us. Barrichello leads a Ferrari 1-2 on the grid. Johnny Newhouse takes 3rd. Esteban Tuero 4th for Benetton, out-qualifying Hill for the first time this season, I think. Jean Alesi again reliable to the hilt, taking 5th for Jordan Ferrari. Hill takes 6th. Coulthard takes 7th. Wurz is 8th. Mika Hakkinen continues a great season for Prost with a 9th. Rosset and Montemini in the Stewarts out-qualify us again, and we have been split by Jan Magnussen, who has out-qualified Mika Salo for the first time. Williams, Sauber and Tyrrell continue to have a horrible time. Deniz, though, continues his streak, out-qualifying Nakano. 17 degrees for the race, cloudy. I didn't expect a strong performance from us here, to be honest, but I didn't expect such a weak qualifying. Fresh boots all round. And Nakano will do a 35-34 split. And surprisingly, I could actually see Nakano coming home in front of Deniz in this race, which means really we should have kept them both on the hard compound. But the hard compound has been so mercurial for us. It either works really well or it's the worst decision in the world. There doesn't seem to be any middle ground with that compound at the moment. Good luck. Yeah, Nakano brings it home in front of Deniz for only the second time, just outside the points in 7th. Jordan pick up a haul of points with Voort taking 4th. Hans-Hauer Frentzen wins, leading from Johnny Newhouse, who's recovered, obviously, from his recent dip in performance. Barrichello takes 3rd for Ferrari, rounding off the podium. The final points go to Coulthard in 5th and Hill in 6th. Nakano was just over a 10th off the back of Hill at the end there, so we were close to picking up a point. However, this is not good. We need to get our B-spec out quite soon. We still hold on to 4th, but the gap is close to 3 points, and we are 17 points behind Benetton in 3rd, so we really have to close the gap to Jordan. We now have the guarantee we need from Red Bull, which is fantastic news. I cannot emphasize how good that is. That means there's going to be no variation now. HSBC have signed with someone else, but that's okay because PIAA were the ones we were really going after. We're going to begin talking to Petronas as well. I'm feeling lucky. On the tyre front, we're a little bit closer to a partner deal, but nothing dramatic. And we're also a little bit closer to signing that Peugeot deal. We'll have to start on a fuel supplier pretty soon as well. However, we will now remove Red Bull for the moment, and we will bring Petronas along to our races. Over at the design office, the 2001 chassis is coming, and the 2000 upgrade is now complete. We will move 100% of our staff over here, and we're going to use those Forschung points we collected in testing to finish stage 1 design. So we can move on to the CFD simulation phase for next year's car. Good news on all counts. We're not going to test. We are not going to test. And I know that's bad news because we're already suffering with performance, and that means we're not going to see the true benefit of the B-spec chassis. But we need to get the B-spec chassis together first of all, and we need to get this technology upgrade out of our way. We've got 3 spare parts. I mean, if we don't mind running Nakano with a bit of wear, I suppose we could actually run testing. It's very expensive here. $2,250 per mile. Not good. We're going to run a lot less testing, that's for sure. We'll run 220 miles for 450,000. And we're going to focus entirely on engine development and setup. Primarily setup. So this isn't going to be great for us, but we do what we can. And obviously Carl can't run here because he doesn't have a car in usable condition. Let's blast that. We might get 1 upgrade point out for our engine, which will be good, but we did get full setup points, which is what we really cared about, I suppose. Didn't Deniz is car 4, I believe, so we'll get him running. And we've managed to get Nakano's car down to 3% wear. That's pretty good. Okay, so our Evolution 7 engine has arrived. We're going to improve the reliability. No new specification of hard or soft tyre as yet. No new specification of fuel either, not that we can do much about that. Sorry, a bit of a cough there. We already checked the sponsor situation, I believe. So now would be the time to make a run at it, I suppose. Let's take a look at the news first, though. Benetton have signed a development contract with Benetton, and Ferrari have signed a works engine deal with Mercedes. Okay, so they're complaining about a lack of power, which is odd because we probably have maybe the second most powerful power unit in terms of outright power, or third possibly. I think only Mercedes and Ford will be outperforming us at the moment. HSBC is signed with Jordan, so they really are foiling us at every turn at the moment. McLaren have signed Jürg Muller, so they're going to have a very interesting driver lineup. Prost have signed Parmalat, Minardi have signed Loctite, and Sauber have signed Sun Microsystems. Akai have signed with Stewart, Agfa have signed with Tyrrell, and Canal Plus have signed with Williams. So very, very interesting. Both Benettons have had a very, very good race start, which indicates traction control. So hopefully we've discovered that. I am the worst manager. Thanks very much for that. Oh wow. So it's all go. It's all go for us. Just making sure everything's where it needs to be. We added 6% to our handling with that upgrade, so maybe we get some kind of bonus from that, but I've got a feeling we're going to go backwards before we go forwards this season. And this is probably going to be a very painful round for us. We'll set up Deniz first, and again we're going to favour Deniz. I don't care that Nakano outperformed him last round. We'll move to the Evo 7 engine, and we'll keep the split strategy. Let's see if we discovered anything. No, we're going to complain about their traction control though, and see if they've got active suspension. Let's dance. 27 degrees, light rain and a strong wind, so we're going to be on the intermediate tyres here, which makes the split strategy basically useless. Although we redeem ourselves, apparently Deniz is very, very good in changeable conditions, which we have actually seen previously. Hill takes pole position for Benetton Mercedes with a 1:20.145 ahead of Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who continues a strong season, second for Ferrari Mercedes. Jean Alesi continues an excellent season to put his Jordan Ferrari on third. Fourth, Pedro Deniz Arrows Ferrari. Fifth is David Coulthard McLaren Ford, and Alexander Wurz takes sixth for Jordan Ferrari. We are 1.5 seconds off pole and 0.3 off the back of Alesi, although Alesi is a far superior driver. Nakano languishing down there in 10th is very interesting. Again, I think it's down to the fact that he's not particularly on the ball in the changeable conditions. It seems that we'll start the race on dry tyres though, so maybe we can do something here. Temperature is 23 degrees. It is cloudy though, so it could rain. We've not run on the dry tyres, so that's good, and we'll do a 36-35 with Nakano. We don't know how these tyres perform on this track with this car, and we don't know how our upgrade package is going to affect anything, so a split strategy again is smart. Best of luck. It's a podium of some description. We got a second place. Pedro Diniz brings it home second. We really needed that. Especially because Jordan picked up no points. Heinz-Harald Frentzen continues his excellent season even further by taking the win for Ferrari. Pedro Diniz, Arrows Ferrari, second place, ahead of Damon Hill, Benetton, Mercedes, I think they are. McLaren Ford take 4th and 5th with Johnny Newhouse leading David Coulthard across the line. Rubens Barrichello rounds off the points in 6th position, and it's another 8th position for Shinji Nakano. Another non-points finish to add to his collection. We only lost Mika Salo, Mika Hakkinen and John O'Lacey. John O'Lacey had an accident, which probably helped us, although it's very, very hard to say for sure without having seen the race if that would have demoted Diniz to 3rd or whether we were 2nd on merit. Looking at the split between us and Frentzen, I would say on merit, and we were probably running ahead of O'Lacey when he went out. That moves Diniz up to 5th in the Drivers' Championship, sharing that position with David Coulthard on 14 points. I don't think he's going to get to 4th, but 5th's pretty respectable. In the Constructors, we've moved comfortably away from Jordan, but we're still languishing 15 points behind Benetton in 4th. Although we are a bit more secure in that 4th position, which is very good news. Let's take a look if any sponsor action has happened. We have a TV advantage to spend, and we've signed PIAA. I'm going to drop that TV advantage on Petronas, to be honest. I think that's the right thing to do, and we're going to sign PIAA straight away so we can shift focus to a new fuel supplier. Let's take a look at what our options are. Mobile seems to be the middle of the road option. Shell have signed everyone they're going to sign. I wonder if we could get Mobile. Esso is another option, although they don't actually like us very much. They might be willing to talk to us. They have no partner at the present. We'll put 15% on and see what's what, and then I'll use this remaining 10% to try and pick up a small sponsor. We'll take Magneti Morelli. On the hospitality front, we will drop PIAA for the moment, and we will bring Esso. Try and move things along there. Over at the design office, we've completed the CFD simulation phase. This opens up some possibility to we've got 6-7 rounds ish, which means we've got 5 rounds really to finish the 2001 car. I still think it's going to be very, very tight running to get a C-spec car out. I just don't see it. Moving over to the engine, our Evo 8 engine has arrived. It's looking very, very good. Some points to spend still, but it's looking very good. We've made a significant profit the last few rounds, which makes me feel like it could be time. It could be time to pull the trigger on that factory upgrade. It's scary, I know, but I think we have the budget to make it work. And I can always, if necessary, revert to a loan until the money from Red Bull comes through. Join me next time when I decide if we're going to build a level 2 factory and expand our departments. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're having a wicked weekend, and I will speak to you very, very shortly. Take it easy.